What's up, everyone? My name is Alan, founder and consultant at For Now Marketing, and welcome to Braze for Technical Marketers. Today, let's go over how to use Braze Catalog Selections to send personalized recommendations to our users. Selections can become a subset of an existing catalog, which can be very useful when it comes to sending dynamic and personalized recommendations. Let's get started. So we have an existing catalog called F&M Retail Catalog. If we ever started a retail business, we are ready for it. And in here we have 22 items, and you can see that we have a different category for each of these things. So we have shoes, t-shirt, pants. Those are the three main categories that we have for our product catalog, our retail catalog. So what we want to do is we want to send an email to our users, and we want to promote some of the new items or just the existing items that exist in our catalog, but we only want to promote the products that are in the user's favorite category. So the three categories we have are, once again, shoes, t-shirt, and pants, and the user will have a custom attribute for favorite category. So let's go ahead and use our Bracesmith tool to log our favorite retail category. And then for me, it'll be shoes. So I'll go ahead and add that to our payload and then send it over. So we should have logged favorite retail category equals shoes. And it's important that the shoes, the value, does precisely match what's being used in the category. So for in the catalog, I mean. So for us, we're using capital S shoes. So that should be exactly what we logged in favorite retail category shoes. Perfect. Now, what we'll do is we are going to create a selection, and a selection is pretty much a subset of a catalog. So I want to create a selection for all the shoes inside this catalog. Pretty much it's a filter for all the shoes. So actually, I already got started, but let's go ahead and delete those, and then let's just start from scratch so we can see what that looks like. So we're going to create a selection, and it's going to be shoes. And then you can see that there's a filter. So we are filtering through our catalog data. Um, so let's filter through our catalog and just pick out all the shoes and then put them in a selection called shoes. And I don't think it's very good at navigating between one screen to the other, but that's okay. So category equals shoes. Actually, now that we think about it, now that we notice this plus sign, the personalization aspect inside this filter, this just helped me remember that we don't have to hard code our favorite category and make one for each category. And then if there were maybe 20 categories of products, that would become cumbersome. We can actually create a selection, just one selection dynamically. So in here, we are going to use the user's favorite uh, what was it called? Favorite retail category, and that will be already dynamic. The selection is dynamic already, so then we should actually name it favorite retail category. So now what happens is, and we're gonna randomize sort order, and grab up to let's do up to 4, and then let's create the selection. So now this actually makes it so much easier, right? So we now have a full retail catalog, but we've made a subset, a dynamic subset called favorite retail category that looks for the user's favorite retail category under their custom attribute and only filters for those items. So then if you actually take a look and generate preview, you can see that if we just grab a random user, we're not going to get anybody, and that's expected. But if I select existing user who has a value for favorite retail category, it looks like, and click generate preview, we are getting 4 random shoes suggested to me as a recommendation. If I generate preview again, notice it's product ID 10, 1, 18, 11, and it's randomized 18, 1, 11, 10. Well, maybe there's only 4 items, but you can see that the order is being randomized, so that random function is turned on, the randomized sort order toggle. So now we are ready to see that in action in our email. So here's the email that we're gonna build. Check out our new products. We can even maybe check out our products in the something like, and please forgive my copywriting skills, in the favorite retail category. And let's just assume that every user does have a value so that we don't have to worry about abort statements. But that is something that we think about all the time. So, and then this is a shopping cart template, but let's just call it something else, like check it out now. And then what we can do now is we can actually insert all the different parts of this catalog and all the different columns that we have inside our email. And we're going to use this row as our placeholder. So what I'll do is I'll just take a minute to fill them in, starting with product name. And actually, the step that we forgot to do before is we usually like to put this at the top of our emails, but we are going to insert the catalog. So we do have to actually reference the catalog that we just made or the selection that we just made inside this email so that the email knows what selection to reference and pull data from. So it's going to be the retail catalog. We're going to use a selection, favorite retail category. We don't have to choose the columns. We just have to really call it here. So as soon as we put this in there, the data that we see here is now available in this email, which is very, very cool. Okay, so now we should be ready. So just starting with items 0 dot product name. And what I'm doing here is all the items that become available in the selections, they're literally being stored in a variable called items. Oops, sorry, I don't think I copied over that. Let's just copy over the product name. So product name. So once again, all the items that are available in the selection quite literally becomes available in an array called items. This items variable is Braze generated. That's automatically generated by Braze whenever you call on the selections liquid tag. Let's just see what we end up getting if we click preview. I want to make sure that the product name for the first one is getting populated correctly. So hopefully we see, maybe we do need to search for our specific user. So let's check that out. Alan Loafers. Look at that. Perfect. So that does show up correctly. Now let's just fix the rest. We have starting price and sale starting date, but we don't have color. So that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this. And I lost that. So starting price. So starting price. And then just to keep this email simple, maybe we can just delete all the fields that we don't have access to. That's okay. But we do have access to a very nice image for each of those. So we will grab image link. And then what we can do is we can check off image with liquid and then dynamic URL, and it'll be image link. Let's just make sure that that looks correct so far. Image link. And look at that beautiful image of running sneakers. But running sneakers, price is 75.6. That's okay. Let's go ahead and just add the $sign. Okay, so that's the idea of how to use selections inside our email. The last thing that we'll do is we'll just go ahead and wrap this in a for loop and then just change the syntax just a little bit so that we can actually grab all 4 shoes that we pulled for this user. So what we're going to do is let's just put a paragraph tag here, and this will be for item in an array called items, right? Remember, items is the array. So if we just reference items in here, that should work. And what we're doing is for every item in our items array, we are repeating this row multiple times. And if we're inside the for loop, we don't actually need the array index, so we can just get rid of that. And Braze will know, and Liquid will know exactly where to grab it. And then we have to make sure whenever there's a for loop, we have to close the for loop. So we'll put N4 in here. Okay, hopefully no issues there. Let's see what happens. When we view, we should have 4 rows. Let's see. maybe we lost our user. Okay, something's wrong here. Let's take a look. So we are using the local for loop variable called item. So then what we need to be doing is using item dot product name. It's actually no longer items because items is the array that we're looping through. Item is where all the data lives. So we need to change that as well. And then let's check one more time. But we saw the 4 rows happening, so that was great. And then this also looks great. We have 4 rows of item recommendations. Last thing I wanted to fix, just a small issue. 97.9 does not look right. So Braze does have a filter called money filters. And if we just add the filter money, and that's the only supported filter, that should fix all sorts of weird currency issues. So if we added money into that filter, then Braze should detect when there is a missing zero. Hopefully we see 9790. That looks beautiful. So that is how we used selections to make personalized recommendations for this user. I guess the experiment isn't complete until we actually try checking it for a different category. So let's just change our category real quick. And this will be the last thing we cover in this video. We are going to change our favorite category to pants and then see if we get a different list of suggestions in this email. So let's go back to Bracesmith. We are going to set favorite retail category to pants. Let's delete that previous one and then send it over to our user. And then we may have to just reset now that we have new data to work with. So first of all, let's just wait to see that changes to pants. Great. And for the moment of truth, let's check it out. Preview for Allen. And previously we saw things like loafers. Now we should see cargo pants, slim fit jeans. Oh, what happened? Yeah, but we see now new categories, new suggestions, because now we're getting a different subset of items because our selection is fully dynamic. That's it for today. Thank you for watching and see you next time.